Italy's breathtaking islands are not only famous for their beauty, they have also been home to some of the most notorious prison colonies and exile camps in history. Thousands of political prisoners, mafia bosses, and exiles were trapped here, and many never made it back. Why were these islands chosen as prisons, and who were the unfortunate ones sent here? Let's explore Italy's forgotten prison islands together. Our first stop is Ustica, an island used by Benito Mussolini as a place of exile for political dissidents. Anti-fascist intellectuals, journalists, and communist leaders were sent here. Among them were Antonio Gramsci and Amadeo Bordiga. But Ustica was not only for political prisoners. By the 1950s, mafia bosses were also exiled here. A prison island, surrounded by the sea, impossible to escape from. Detain was not just a prison island. It was the birthplace of the idea of a united Europe. First used as an exile island by the Romans, Detain later became a prison for anti-fascist thinkers under Mussolini. One of them, Altiero Spinelli, wrote the Detain Manifesto, which laid the foundation for the European Union. Today, Detain is remembered as a symbol of both oppression and freedom. Ponza Island was used for centuries as a prison and place of exile. But what makes it even more fascinating is that Mussolini himself was imprisoned here. In 1943, after he was overthrown, he was held captive on this very island. But he was soon rescued by German commandos and escaped. A prison that once held its own creator, history's irony at its finest. Pianosa is one of Italy's most feared prison islands. It housed the most dangerous mafia bosses, from Cosa Nostra to Camorra. With zero chances of escape, it was Italy's version of Alcatraz. The prison finally closed in 2011, but its dark past still haunts the island. San Michele was not just a prison. It was also a cemetery. Under Napoleon's rule, prisoners were sent here, where many never left alive. The island became a silent witness to countless deaths, both from disease and execution. Asinara was one of Italy's most terrifying prison islands. It was used to isolate the most dangerous mafia bosses and terrorists. The Italian government ensured total isolation, cutting off all communication with the outside world. After more than a century as a high-security prison, it was finally closed in 1998 and turned into a nature reserve. Santo Stefano was not an ordinary prison island. It was a place of isolation, torture, and despair. Built in 1797 by the Bourbon kings, it housed political prisoners, criminals, and exiles. Its Panopticon-style prison ensured that guards could observe every cell at all times. During Mussolini's reign, it became a brutal detention centre for anti-fascists. The prison closed in 1965, but its ruins still stand as a dark reminder of its tragic past. Gorgona is Italy's last operational prison island. It serves as an experimental rehabilitation facility where inmates work on a farm, raising animals and producing wine and cheese. Unlike other prison islands, Gorgona offers a second chance to prisoners. However, it remains a restricted area, requiring special permission to visit. These islands were places where escape was impossible. Mussolini's enemies, mafia leaders, and political prisoners were all trapped here. Some survived, Others were never seen again. Today, many of these islands have become tourist destinations, but their haunting past still lingers in the air. Would you dare to visit one of these prison islands? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating island history.